Howdy sloppies. Today I'm going to do a short video on this here orange Amazon special less than $250 delivered wheel. So you guys actually get a bird's eye view of what it is exactly that's going to be coming to your doorstep if you guys end up going the budget route and grabbing a wheel off Amazon like I did. As you can see in the background, that's all the hardware that's come off this bad boy. I've probably ended up having to recycle at least that same equal amount of clay that you see on that shelf back there, and they're in those buckets just because I had to figure out how this wheel works and figure out how I work with this wheel. So let's get into it. All right, sloppies, check it out. What's the manufacturer of this thing? Well, I don't know. All I know it was orange. It was on Amazon. It was less than 250 bucks, shipped direct from China to my apartment. Got me throwing again. If I had to do it all over again, I'd save another 250 bucks and go get a more robust wheel. What's cool about this wheel is it's 110, yo. It's got a built-in breaker. This is simply a power indicator. It's got forward and reverse. And this here pedal has a delay in it. Watch as I depress the pedal, the delay in the wheel. So you gotta deal with that. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Also, let's flip this thing over. Be careful, because this tin is just simply some decently outer painted sheet metal. And very hard plastic feet that you screw in. You can get your levels, but just be careful when you're reaching in here, because they made it nice and smooth and nice and painty on the outside. Looks like they also hit it with a decent coat of paint on the inside. Decent, I say, because let me turn it this way, you can see in the corner they didn't really hit it very good at all. Shitty lighting, sorry. So all they did was tack weld. They just did some bending of the sheet metal. You can see how flimsy it is with the on the side, sitting on the tray. But they just simply zip tied the electric motor, or the electric junction box, I should say, to the motor. I don't know what the wattage or the amps on this thing is. I want to say 100, but I don't think that's correct. Anyways, they've wired in the one box for the circuit breaker and the power, the indicator light, and then they tied in the switch, and it all runs through the pedal as well. It's belt driven. You can see it's just simply mounted with some bolt mount bolts onto some tack weld female threads. These breather holes right here is what I assume they are. They're all sharp. Like, you'll slice the shit out of yourself on these things. They didn't sand these things down or anything. Ream them out. And they just tack welded them right here. You can see that as well. I mean, it's whatever. Plastic flywheel. Pretty decent rubber belt. The belt is actually undersized for the flywheel, so they've married this thing to an oversized flywheel, which in my estimation, can actually cause some oscillation on that wheel. I've had to mess with it a little bit. Also, the wheel mount bolts right here. And you can see they just use some self-tappers. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, right here, to fix the tray. So all in all, you get just a, you know, sheet metal wrapped, tack welded, sprayed down, decent on the outside. Everything pretty modular as far as the setup and the wiring and the motor and the wheel, the flywheel. And that's what you get as far as the innards and what's powering your wheel. And so you can see the tray is unremovable with these self-tappers just right here. You have a decent aluminum machined 10-inch wheel. It's got a pretty decent wheel face. There are no ballast holes. You could drill them out and affix a ballast to this if you wanted. The biggest drawback to this whole setup, honestly, has been, I think, an underpowered motor and the inability to remove the tray. So cleaning becomes a pain in the ass. That being said, I'll show you this pedal as well. I've had to do this a couple of times. Disassemble it to realign the gears, because when I've come to full stop, the wheel, of course, was not coming to a full stop. Get this last guy out real quick and take off this little plastic base plate. And so that's what you get right there. And if you see the action, you see this quarter gear is affixed to this full gear, affixed to the inputs, electrical inputs on the pedal. So as you rotate the pedal, you can see the gears spinning. Well, I've had to realign these two gears a couple of teeth back on two separate occasions. I haven't had to do it since. So there will be some loose components, probably some misaligned components when you get this thing. I wasn't able to, fresh out of the box, just start throwing clay. I had to, you know, of course, affix the feet, get this thing level, and then once I got it spinning, just on an operations test, an ops test, first thing I had to do was dive into this pedal and realign the gears, and then after a couple of pieces, I had to do it all over again. So just be wary of that. One last screw, adonde, a key, boom. It's pretty freaking quiet, you know. It doesn't generate a whole bunch of noise, which is definitely a plus if you're in cramped spaces, etc. Anyways, let's do this. I'll give you a sound test. This is full speed. As I put it down. I don't know how many RPMs that is. I found that if I've got 2.5, 3 pounds of clay or more, I'm really struggling with the friction and this wheel bogging down. So everything I make is super slip, just to eliminate the friction, just to get the clay moving, because this wheel is absolutely underpowered. So that's the review on this bad boy. If you have 250 bucks and you're chomping at the bit, I mean, go ahead and throw your money at this thing. if you just have to get throwing. But if you have a little bit more patience, I would highly suggest doubling down on your initial investment and getting a wheel that's more robust and more powerful for you. You'll be happier in the long run, promise. Anyways, sloppies, that's the review on the orange Amazon special. Throw a like and drop a subscribe too if you want, or don't. I don't really care. I'm not trying to monetize this shit. I'm just sharing my experience with as a green thumb getting into throwing clay. Wanna buy?